So we're going to talk about what the skin really needs to be healthy because the perspective that I'm coming from with this entire series is how do we keep the skin as healthy as possible? So peptides are a really cool class of ingredients that we are going to talk about today. So we need that lower pH, and that really comes from using a pH appropriate cleanser. So anything that is being sold as affecting the cell function or the cell structure, of course, has to be classified as a drug. But we also talk about things affecting cells cosmetically. And it's important to know that it's not possible unless it's a small permeable molecule and it has the ability to access the cell. Generally, this happens the best when there are receptors on the cell membrane that match up with that specific ingredient, and then they desquamate properly, which is huge. And that increase in cellular activity and differentiation or proliferation is what leads to the shedding that we normally see with retinol. And if we have maybe vitamin A deficiency, then we begin to see things that look like they need vitamin A to fix them topically, like, poor differentiation, poor cell turnover, collagen degradation, low collagen production, signs of aging, premature aging, and advanced premature aging at that. And then there's other brand names, of course. So obviously not a sunscreen, but I'm sure you guys have all seen vitamin C serums talking about how they increase the efficacy of sunscreen or increase your photoprotection. And that's because it really does, it helps to protect the skin. So some of those issues we have with vitamin A also exist with vitamin C, but there's a difference here. Going back to the type of vitamin it is, vitamin C is water soluble, which means that it can't get through the skin intercellular manner. So if it's ascorbic acid, the pH has to be very acidic. And if it's too acidic for the skin, it can be irritating. So this is actually something that needs to potentially get into the dermis. And this happens usually with the assistance of a peptide. I've seen a few brands start to use these a little bit more. I think those are all really important questions, and, approach everything with skepticism and ask all the questions, because it sucks to know that these things work but not get what you think you're getting out of it, if that makes sense. I only know of one product really a few different products that use this, but they're all Dermalogica. And so one of them would be like their Sound Sleep Cocoon. We want growth factors that are going to reduce the inflammatory process while increasing the collagen and elastin production. Remember what stem cells are. Stem cells are undifferentiated cells that differentiate into different types, right? They're live things. And in theory, what brands maybe want us to believe is that these stem cells go to exactly where they need to go, and they're proliferated and made into whatever the skin needs to be as healthy as possible. And I mean, have you guys ever bought probiotics at the store? Because they usually come cold in the fridge. You can't just like throw probiotics in a product and it works. A prebiotic is something that is like a food for the natural biome that grows on the skin, and it doesn't need to be kept alive generally. But the problems that we see with low molecular weight is it absorbs, 1,000 or more, depending on the type, times its weight in water. You need to heal the barrier first and then find other ways to get the hydration into the skin. And there's plenty of other ways. There's plenty of other humectants other than hyaluronic acid that are beneficial too, like glycerin as an example. But for this week, I guess my overall point to make for you guys is that we actually don't need as much topically as we think we do.